Good morning, students. Welcome back to your computer lecture. My name is Joshua and I will take you through your computer lecture. I request all the students to kindly be ready with their workbook and a pencil. I am sure we are ready by now. So a quick recap. In the last lecture, we learnt about different types of computers, like the desktop computer, then laptop, then we had tablet, mobile phones, palm top, and various other devices which can be used in our day-to-day life for communicating with each other. So now we will proceed further to see what a further syllabus is all about. I want you all to take a look at this picture. Yes, there are various other devices like printer, monitor, CPU, keyboard, speakers, mouse, scanner, UPS, headphones. So these are nothing but various parts of a computer. Like as a human body comprises of various parts like head, hands, leg, mouth, nose, ears, etc. Similarly, even a computer comprises of various parts, out of which the four major parts or the main parts of the computer are the monitor, keyboard, mouse and CPU. So these are the four major parts which is required for a computer to work. So let's begin with our second chapter. Chapter number 2, working with a computer. Page number 10. So kindly open page number 10, chapter number 2, working with a computer. Let's learn and understand. Chapter number 2, working with. Let us read. You have already learned about the computer and its parts in the previous grade. Computers are used to perform many activities. They make it easier for you to perform a lot of tasks faster and with less effort. You can use the computer at your school to create a project, write an essay or paragraph, learn programming, play games, etc. To do so, you need to know how to start a computer. The two most basic tasks while working with a computer involve starting and shutting down a computer. Okay, so the introduction part, we've already discussed about the various parts of the computer. Once again, to quickly show you all, these are the various parts of the computer, and the four main parts are the monitor, keyboard, mouse and CPU. We have seen computers are used at various places in our day-to-day life and they play a very important role. In schools, we can use it to create project, write an essay or paragraph, learn programming, play games, etc. Many things to look at. Right? In order to do all these tasks, in order to perform all these activities, we need to know how to start a computer. So the two most basic tasks, or the two most important tasks involves starting a computer and shutting down a computer. So let us learn how to start and shut down a computer. Starting a computer. To perform any task on the computer, you need to first start the computer. So what is starting a computer involves? What are the steps? To start a desktop computer, number 1, turn on the main switch. Number 2, press the power button on the CPU. Number 3, press the power button on the monitor. As we know, students, computer is an electronic device. So we need to supply electricity in order for it to work or it to perform or do any function. So the first step in order to start a desktop computer is to turn on the main switch. Then press the power button on the CPU. You can take a closer look at the power button on the CPU as well as the power button on the monitor. These are the two buttons that we need to press so that the computer can start. Once we switch on the monitor, the desktop screen appears. This is known as the screen that you see in the image is known as the home screen or the desktop screen. So this is how you start a computer. You just power on the main switch, then the power on the switches on the computer, the CPU and the monitor. With the help of its operating system and all the processes that's happening in the central processing unit, the computer will load and it finally reaches the home screen or the desktop screen. Let's turn our page to starting a laptop. To start a laptop, the first step, ensure that the laptop is charged. Point number 2, press the power button on the laptop. The home screen appears. As you can see on the right hand side, there is a power button. The image shows the power button. Generally on a laptop, the power button is placed on the keyboard, above the keyboard. And one benefit of laptop is you don't need to supply continuous electricity. It has a battery facility, so if the laptop is charged, we can continue using it without supplying the main power or electricity. The next one is starting a mobile or tablet. To start a mobile or tablet, what we need to do is, first thing again, ensure that the mobile or tablet is charged. Second, press the power button on the mobile or tablet. The home screen appears. Now, on the tablet or a mobile phone, the home screen may differ as compared to the desktop computer and a laptop. We all are aware, or we all have seen that how a desktop screen looks on a computer, how a desktop screen looks on a laptop, and how does your home screen looks on a mobile phone. I'm sure at least once we have switched on and switched off a cell phone. Similarly, let's see what the note says. The power button for laptops is usually placed just above the keyboard, whereas the power button for tablets and mobile phone is located on the top or on either side, either one of the sides of the device. Self-explanatory, the power button for laptop is on the keyboard, generally above the keyboard, as you can see in the picture. And for your cell phones, you have it in your hand, students. You can take a look. We all know where the power button for a cell phone or a tablet lies. It's either on either of the sides. So these were the steps for starting a computer, laptop, a mobile phone or a tablet. Let's understand what is shutting down a computer, or how do we shut down the computer. After completing your work, you need to shut down and switch off the computer. Shutting down a computer closes all the programs that are open and exits the system safely. It generally conserves energy and lets the computer cool down. It is very important to follow a series of steps to shut down a computer so that all the data is stored on your computer safely. Right? So shutting down a computer also involves few steps. We just can't directly go and shut down a computer. There are step-by-step instructions in order to ensure that the data that we have on a computer is not lost or it doesn't get corrupt. Now, even shutting down a computer has two processes: hard shutdown or soft shutdown. Let's read further. Why we need to shut down a computer? Because it saves energy, right? It conserves energy, and the computer also cools down. We cannot let the electronic device run continuously because on the motherboard, the CPU, the devices, like there is a fan which continuously keeps on rotating to cool down the motherboard or the processor. So it's of utmost important that we shut down the computer at regular intervals, or once we finish using the computer, we have to shut it down. Let's read the note. If you do not shut down a computer properly, the computer will close all your programs and documents automatically without saving it. This will result in loss of data. Right? I just explained. If you do not follow the step-by-step instructions for shutting down a computer, there are high chances of our programs and documents being closed automatically, and there are chances that we will lose it or it does not save properly. So it's necessary or important to follow step-by-step instructions. Let us see what are those steps. To shut down a desktop computer, number 1, click the start button. Click the power icon and select shutdown. Turn the page. After the computer is shut down and the monitor display goes off, then switch off the main power. Right, again 3 basic steps. First, we need to click on the start button. We may have done this in a practical lab, in a computer lab during a practice session. We may have done this, however, let's try to understand it again. So to shut down a computer, the first step is to save all your documents, whatever data that you're typing or whatever work that you're doing, is to first save that work. Once we save our work, we click on the start button or those 4 window icon. From that we select shutdown. Once the computer starts shutting down, it will slowly and steadily close all the applications that are running in the background. Even at that time, if there is any unsaved document, the computer gives us a prompt. There is an unsaved document, would you like to save it or no? Even at that time, the computer gives us an option. So once we shut down the computer, then we can turn off the main power supply. Now here the last step is to turn off the main power supply. So don't directly go ahead and turn off the computer by switching off the main power supply. This will damage the computer, the hardware parts. Let's see the note. The steps to shut down a laptop computer are same as the desktop computer. However, for a mobile or tablet, you have to press and hold the power button in order to shut it down. Again, in laptops and desktop computers, we have the option of soft shutdown. Like we go to the programs, click on the start button, and then we click on the shutdown option or shutdown button. However, in cell phones, in mobile phones or in tablets, we have to hardly press the power button or keep the power button pressed so that it shuts down. That is known as hard shutdown. So a quick summary, students. Chapter number 2, working with the computer, describes the two main tasks of a computer. That is starting a computer and shutting down a computer. As it is an electronic device, so we definitely need to start it, and once our use or work is finished, once we have finished using it, we have to shut it down. Okay. If you take a look down, it's a practice time which says put a tick mark on the Windows logo and a cross mark on the other. Looking at the first, we can clearly say which logo is this. Right, it's an apple. It's an Apple logo. And the Windows logo is that for Windows. That's a Windows logo. So tick mark accordingly. Now you see, students, I have underlined few words for your reference. I request all the students to kindly underline those words and write them down in your notebook. I will see you all in the next lecture. Until then, thank you much. Thank you for your time, and be healthy and be safe.